Namaste. Welcome to yoga to support you on your healing journey. I hope you are able to watch the previous video that describes this practice that we will be working with today. So this is a moon practice. We'll be cultivating grounding energy. On your healing journey, it is so important to stay grounded. So you may be blowing yourself open at times, feeling very vulnerable, feeling very sensitive to energy, not knowing what's coming at you, dark and light. And so this practice will help to bring you into the physical body and bring you down to the earth, giving you that element of earthing and grounding. So today we'll work with twists and forward folds specifically. And I do hope that this helps you on your path. So we'll start with Mukha Bhastrika, which is a forceful exhalation used to clear the lungs, clear any stagnant energy within the body. So you can sit in a cross-legged position or sit on your knees, whatever feels comfortable for you. This can also be done standing as well. So if it's not comfortable for you to be on your knees at all, you can do this from a standing position. From your knees, I'll just demo first and then we'll do it together. So you'll have your hands on your thighs or your knees, however you're sitting, and we take a big inhale in. And then through pursed lips, so you open the mouth just slightly, through pursed lips we'll blast the air out and fold. So it looks like this. So you're kind of sputtering the air out. You're getting as much air out of the body as possible. So you're drawing the belly in, forcing the air out of the lungs. So we'll do that 3 times. So we'll take a breath together. So take a nice natural inhale. And exhale completely. Inhale for Bhastrika. Exhale out, parted lips and fold. Inhale back up, fill the lungs, fill all the way down to the belly. Exhale, blast and fold. One more time, inhale all the way back up. Nice deep breath. Exhale, blast and fold. Nice and slow. Inhale your way back up. Close the eyes for a few moments. Just relax into the breath. Notice that connection that you just created with the body, the mind, and the breath. Notice any clearing sensations. Maybe the mind feels a little more vibrant. Always important to just bridge that connection between the body and the breath at the very beginning of your practice. And go ahead and blink open the eyes. Come on to hands and knees, tabletop position. We're just going to take a little dynamic movement here. So bring the wrists underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. Okay, we're going to sit back into child's pose. Okay, so just get that movement first. Coming back into child's pose. On your next inhale, make your way up to tabletop position. And tuck the toes. On your exhale, make your way into downward facing dog, keeping the knees bent. Inhale your way back to tabletop position. Untuck the toes. Exhale, come into child's pose. Inhale, tabletop position. Tuck the toes. Exhale, downward dog. Bend in the knees. Inhale, tabletop. Untuck the toes. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, tabletop. Tuck the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, tabletop. Untuck the toes, exhale, child's pose. Pause here for a few breaths, maybe lengthen the fingertips forward, grounding the hips towards the sit bones. Okay, make your way nice and slow back up to tabletop position. Tuck the toes and push back into downward facing dog. Take a few moments here in your downward facing dog. Keeping the knees bent, drawing the hips up towards the ceiling, lengthening out the side body. And then maybe slowly one at a time, drawing the heels down towards the ground, lengthening out the backs of the legs. Set the gaze forward, make your way to the top of the mat, meeting the hands. And just come into forward fold here for a few breaths. So feet hips width distance apart. You can let the hands hang down towards the ground. You can grab onto your ankles if you want to activate it a little bit. Or you can grab for opposite elbows coming into your ragdoll. Keeping a slight bend in the knees so that you can really lengthen out the lower back. Option to draw the neck from side to side, shaking yes and no to just release the neck. And then release the hands if you're in your ragdoll. Slowly, one vertebrae at a time, roll your way all the way up to standing. Okay, roll the shoulders back, come into Tadasana, mountain pose. Now, I like keeping my feet hips width distance apart for the standing postures. I feel like it's just a little more stable for me. You can bring your toes to touch. We're going to move into chair pose. So chair pose can be a fairly difficult pose for a lot of people to sit with it for a while. As I had explained, we hold these postures longer than in a normal, faster-paced vinyasa style practice. So let's get your mind wrapped around holding this pose for a few breaths. Make sure that you have your foundation, so feet are grounded into the mat. On your inhale, deep bend in the knees. Sweep the arms up and sit low for chair pose. So arms are up by your ears. If there's a lot of compression in the lower back, you can tuck the tailbone just slightly. If there's still too much compression in the lower back, you can draw your hands to heart center. We're going to take some dynamic movement first, though. So if you can, keeping your arms up by your ears. On your inhale, straighten out the legs, reach the arms up, and then exhale, bend into the knees, come back into chair pose, and then hinge from the hips, fold forward, bringing fingertips down towards the ground. Inhale your way back up through chair pose, straighten out the legs, come up to standing. Exhale, bend into the knees, back through chair pose, and then hinge from the hips, fold forward. Moving nice and slow. Inhale, chair pose, all the way up to standing. Exhale, chair pose, and forward fold. Inhale, back through chair, up to standing. Exhale, bend into the knees, and fold forward. Inhale your way back up through chair, all the way up to standing, and then release the hands down by your sides. Pause here. Let's feel the flow of energy starting to move through the body. We're going to move into static hold. So whenever you're ready, inhale, deep bend in the knees, sweep the arms high, and sit low for chair pose. This is where the challenge usually begins in the Hatha Yoga practice, is sitting with the posture for a few moments, several breaths, maybe a minute, maybe two. So just going inward and noticing what starts to come up when you're in this pose. You could make whatever final adjustments you need, tucking the tailbone, and then move into as much stillness as possible. So trying to omit any voluntary movement. You can close the eyes if that helps you to go inward. Noticing the chatter in the mind, noticing if you're starting to get anxious. We don't want pain in the practice, but discomfort helps us to create more resilience, more courage, a deeper connection with our body, knowing that our bodies can get through a lot more than we probably give them credit for. Last couple breaths. Okay, straighten out the legs, release the hands down by your sides. Pause here. Option to take a little movement. You can pedal out the feet or loosen up the arms. Okay. Just notice how good it feels to be out of the pose. All right. So we're going to come into dynamic pyramid pose, and we're going to count the breath. So we'll be counting the breath, increasing the exhales. So this helps us to really start to cultivate that moon energy, that grounding energy. So we'll start with the right foot at the top of the mat, and the left foot steps back. Square the hips to the front of the mat. So you might even want to put your hands on your hips so that you can adjust your hip. Your left hip probably wants to draw back. Bring it forward. If you need to make your stance a little bit wider so your feet are more hips width distance apart, you can do that. Okay. So we're going to bring our right hand on the sacrum, palm face out, and left arm reaches up. Okay. Take an inhale here, lengthen the fingertips up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forward. Keep a micro bend in the front knee. Inhale your way all the way back up to standing. Keep the left arm by the ear as best you can. So now we're going to count. Exhale for the count of 4, 2, 3, 4. Inhale for 4, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, increasing the exhale for 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale for 4, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale for 4, 2, 3, 4. This time exhale 7. Trying to steady the breath. Inhale for 4. Last one. Exhale 8. Inhale 4. Okay, this time exhale halfway. So bring the upper body so that it's parallel to the ground. Left arm reaches forward. Keep it by the ear as best you can. Again, make sure you're not locking out the knee, so front knee is slightly bent. Drawing the belly in for support. So creating a little heat here, a little tapas, so that we can burn away any energetic impurities. Working in the lower energy centers, the lower chakras, is where we hold most of our traumas, our emotions, our programming. Okay, inhale your way all the way back up. And then we'll exhale to fold all the way forward. Release left fingertips down to the ground, right fingertips down to the ground. So if you have blocks handy, you can use a block or two, one in front of the foot or one on either side of the front foot. If you don't have any blocks handy, no worries. You can rest your hand on your shin if you can't quite reach the ground. Okay, on your next inhale, halfway lift, draw the chest forward, and then exhale, fold over that front leg. So in this practice, we're not working on flexibility. Flexibility is a byproduct of these poses. So you might be getting a nice hamstring stretch here, but it's more about function versus form. We're focusing on drawing the breath down into the belly. So you notice that it's almost difficult to breathe into the chest. So we're drawing the breath awareness down into the belly so that we create a grounding, yin moon energy. So awareness in the navel. Okay, from here we're going to come into a twist. So again, if you have a block or any type of a prop handy that you'd like to keep your hand on, you can. So we're going to inhale, halfway lift. Keep the left hand on the ground or on a prop, and then exhale to twist. Right fingertips reach up towards the ceiling. So find the twist from the lower part of the spine first, and then you can rotate the chest open, and then reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling. If you have shoulder issues, you can just wrap the hand around and rest it on the sacrum. Breathing here. Again, natural breath awareness is going to draw into the belly. Then you can gaze down to the ground, straight ahead, or up to the ceiling, whatever works best on your neck. We're not really focusing on twisting the neck, so just get your head as comfortable as you can. Okay, set the gaze down, release right hand down to the ground, and then step left foot forward to meet right at the top of the mat. Slowly roll your way all the way up to standing, coming into Tadasana, mountain pose. Take a moment between sides, recalibrate, readjust. Okay, then we will come into the second side. So left foot stays at the top of the mat, right foot steps back, and then square the hips to the front of the mat. This time we're going to be taking left hand onto sacrum, palm face out, and right fingertips reach upward. And get yourself adjusted. We'll take one round without counting. So inhale here, reach the fingertips up. And then exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forward, releasing the fingertips down towards the ground. Keep the arm by the ear. Inhale your way all the way back up to standing, nice and slow. Okay, now we'll count. Exhale for 4, 2, 3, 4. Inhale for 4, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale for 4, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale for 4, 2, 3, 4. Last 2. Exhale for 7. Measuring the breath. Try not to run out. Inhale for 4. Last one. Exhale for 8. Inhale for 4. Okay. Exhale. Come down halfway. Upper body's parallel to the ground. Keep the hips square to the front of the mat. Ground through soles of the feet. Right fingertips actively reach forward. Breathing here, drawing the belly in for support. Okay, inhale your way back up nice and slow. And then exhale all the way. Release right hand down. Release left hand down. Use your blocks if you need to, or a prop. Inhale, halfway lift, draw the chest forward. Exhale to fold over that front leg. Keep the hips square to the front of the mat. You can keep a micro bend in the front knee. Breathing into the belly. The mind is fully in the navel. On your next inhale, halfway lift. Keep right hand on the ground or on the block, and then exhale, left fingertips reach up towards the ceiling. Twisting from the belly, twisting from the lower spine. Set the gaze down, release left hand down to the ground. Step right foot forward to meet left at the top of the mat. Then just take a moment here in a forward fold. So you can grab onto your ankles or you can peace finger the big toes. Actively draw the forehead down towards the shins, just coming back to center here. Okay, nice and slow, roll your way all the way up to standing. Roll the shoulders back, come into Tadasana, mountain pose. We're going to turn to face the long edge of the mat. So whichever direction works best for you. So take the feet pretty wide here so that you can, when you reach down, you can touch the floor. If you can't quite touch the floor, you can bring a block or a prop. So toes are slightly pointed in, heels are out, and then arms to a T. We're going to take some dynamic movement to start. So inhale here, lengthen the spine. And then exhale, release right hand down, left fingertips reach up towards the ceiling. Inhale your way back up to standing, nice and slow. Exhale, left hand down, right fingertips up. Inhale your way back up to standing. Exhale, right hand down, left fingertips up. Inhale, back up. Exhale, left hand down, right fingertips up. Okay, inhale, back up. We'll do 2 more rounds and then counting an exhale of 8. Okay, so we'll just start over here. Inhale. Exhale for 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, back up for 4, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, left side, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale for 4, 2, 3, 4. One more each side. Exhale for 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale for 4, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale for 4, 2, 3, 4. Release the hands. Pause here. We're going to come into dynamic twist. So bring your arms back out to a T. Inhale here. Exhale, right hand down, left fingertips up towards the ceiling. Okay, from here you can keep the right hand underneath the chest, or you can grab onto your left ankle to go a little deeper into the twist. Option to keep left fingertips up towards the ceiling, or you can wrap the hand around to the sacrum, reaching towards the right leg. Again, mind in the navel, breathing into the belly. Notice if you're starting to tap into that moon energy. Generally, when I'm doing this practice on my own, I get almost sleepy by this point. I'm so drawn inward, I'm feeling so grounded, and it's almost a lethargic feeling. You bring the right fingertips back underneath the center of the chest if they're not already there. Inhale your way back up to standing, nice and slow. And left side, exhale, left fingertips down. Right arm up. Option to grab onto the right ankle with the left hand or reach around behind you. Okay, bring the left hand back underneath the center of the chest. Release right fingertips down to the ground. Bring both hands onto your hips with a flat back. Inhale your way all the way up to standing. Release the hands down by your sides. And then go ahead and step to the top of the mat. We'll do 2 rounds of slow sun salutations. So we don't want to fire up the energy too much in this practice because it is a grounding practice, but it is nice to get the energy flowing, release any stuck energy, especially in the joints. So we'll just do 2 rounds together. Okay, so coming into Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, sweep the arms. Exhale, hinge from the hips, nice and slow, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. You can draw your hands onto your shins or keep fingertips on the mat. Draw chest forward. Exhale and fold. Plant the hands, make your way back to high plank position. Pause here in plank, drawing the belly in, feeling strong in your high push-up pose. Shift the shoulders forward, option to drop the knees or you can keep them lifted, and lower all the way down to the ground with elbows tucked into side body. Point the toes, hands underneath your shoulders, lift the chest, baby cobra pose. Draw the chest forward, lengthen the back of the neck. Exhale, lower down. Tuck the toes, make your way through tabletop position and into downward facing dog. Set the gaze forward, make your way to the top of the mat, meeting the hands. Nice and slow, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more round. Inhale, sweep the arms. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, make your way back, high plank position. Pause here. Shift the shoulders forward, lowering all the way down to the ground. Inhale, point the toes, lift the chest, cobra pose. Exhale, push back to downward facing dog. Take a few moments in downward dog. You can take some exhales out the mouth if you feel like you generated some heat that you need to let go of. Okay, drop the knees down onto the mat. Sit back onto the heels. Okay, we're going to come into shoulder stand. So we're just going to incorporate a little bit of Udana and Vyana Vayu, which are upward moving energies. But these energies, I'm incorporating them because they are used for expansion and integration. So especially if you're on the integration path of your aspect of your healing journey, this helps to protect you. So to protect you from negative energies, from any energies really, but especially if we have kind of blown ourselves open on our healing path and are feeling very vulnerable. So this is a really nice one to draw the energies upwards, but still keep them fairly contained and in a protective space for you. Okay, so come onto your backs. If shoulder stand doesn't work for you and your body, you can use a block or any type of a prop that you might have at home, and you can bring the prop underneath your hips and reach the legs up towards the ceiling. For shoulder stand, we'll just take a very gentle version of it. So lift the hips. So you might need to give yourself a little momentum here so that you can lift the hips. And bring your hands onto, you'll feel the hip joints. And you can kind of cup the hip joints with your hands, resting them there. So we're not going to straighten the legs all the way up. We're going to keep the legs so that the body is kind of in a V shape. So you should feel fairly supported here. The ankles will be maybe above the forehead, maybe a little bit behind the top of the head. Keeping the gaze upward so that you don't strain your neck, so don't look side to side here in this posture. And you can have a little bend in the knees if you'd like. So focusing the attention in the space between the eyebrows. You can keep the eyes open or you can close them. And just starting to notice the reverse flow of energy with this posture. Allowing the energy to move towards the heart, towards the throat, and towards the third eye center, the space between the eyebrows. Let's see if you can omit any of the voluntary movements. So it's being as still and supported as you can in this posture. Okay, nice and slow. Draw the knees towards the body, and then you can slowly roll your way back down onto the ground. Okay, option for fish pose if you have that in your practice, but we didn't really strain the neck too much in the modified version. So if you like, you can just draw your knees into your chest. Maybe wiggle side to side a little bit, releasing the lower back. Okay, roll over onto one side and make your way up to a seated position. So we'll do 2 more asana, 2 more postures, and then we'll move into Shavasana, and then we'll do our breath work and meditation. So coming into a seated twist, extend the right leg long, left leg bent, step the left foot on the outside of the right leg. So you can stay here if this is what works best for your hips and your leg. If you have the availability in your hips, you can bend the right knee and bring the right foot towards your left hip. So just make sure you're not sitting on the ankle though. Both sit bones should be firmly rooted down into the ground. And then hug the left knee so that it's pretty close to the body. Bring your left fingertips behind you. The plant behind me. Bring your left fingertips behind you. On the inhale, reach the right fingertips up. And then exhale to twist, bringing right elbow to left knee. Or you can bring the right arm on the outside of the shin. Whatever works best for you, just make sure you're leveraging yourself with that arm so that you can move deeper into the twist. Inhale to lengthen through the spine one more time. Exhale to twist. Okay, so again, with these twists, we're focusing in the belly. So focusing the breath, the physical twist, and as much awareness as you can into the lower sacrum, the lowest part of the spine. So with your neck, you don't need to crank your neck behind you. You can gaze straight ahead or whatever works best for your neck. Continuing to keep this pose active. It's really easy to get kind of lazy in this pose. Keep twisting the shoulders so that you're twisting into the lower part of the spine and breathing. So inhale to lengthen the spine and then exhale to twist a little deeper. Okay, on your next inhale, make your way back through center. Bring your hands onto your shin. Sit up nice and tall. Pause here in between sides. Okay, switching sides, uncross the legs. Extend the left leg long, right knee bent. Step right foot on the outside of the left. Again, you can stay here or you can bend the bottom knee underneath you. And then hug the right knee in towards the chest. Bring right fingertips behind you. On the inhale, extend the left fingertips high. Exhale to twist. Left elbow to right knee. And then keep it active. So inhaling to lengthen through the spine. Exhaling to twist. Full awareness into the navel center. Physically wringing out the vital organs. Twists are great for detoxification. But twists are also great to bring you back to center. So wherever you're at, if you're feeling lethargic or if you're feeling overly energized, twists bring us all back to center. So when in doubt, twist. A couple more breaths here. Staying active, using the breath. Inhale your way back through center. Bring your hands onto your shin. Pause here. Lengthen the spine. Okay, and then we're going to come into a forward fold. So straighten out the legs. You can keep a little bend in the knee if you're really tight in the hamstrings. So again, it's not about flexibility. It's about where we're moving the breath and the awareness in the posture. Okay, so straighten out the legs or keep the bend. On your inhale, reach the arms up. And then exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forward, reach towards the feet. Okay, we'll take a little dynamic movement. Inhale, reach the arms all the way back up. Keep lengthen the spine. Exhale, hinge from the hips and fold forward. 2 more times. Inhale your way back up. Exhale to fold. Last one. Inhale back up. Exhale to fold. This time stay in the fold. Grab onto your ankles, soles of the feet, whatever you can hold on to. If you have a belt or a strap that you would prefer to use, you can. Okay. Draw the chest forward. Take a nice deep inhale. And then exhale to fold over your legs. So just coming back to center. Coming into alignment. And targeting both sides of the body in this posture. Breathing into the belly. On your next inhale, reach fingertips forward, reach the arms all the way back up. And then release the hands down by your sides. We'll move into Shavasana for a few moments. We won't take too long of a Shavasana. We don't want to get too sleepy. And then we'll sit back up for our breath work and meditation. So get yourself comfortable, lying on your back. You can put some blocks or a bolster or a pillow under your knees if you have a sensitive lower back and you feel like you need a little extra support. And bring your arms nice and wide by your sides, legs maybe mats width distance apart. Take the first minute or so to draw the awareness of the breath down into the belly. Notice yourself beginning to establish a connection with the mat and with the earth below you. So feeling fully supported here. Allow yourself to surrender into this posture. With each exhale, just sinking deeper and deeper into this space. Bring your awareness back to the breath. And notice the sounds and the sensations around you. And bringing some movement back into the body by wiggling your fingers and your toes. Rolling out your wrists and your ankles. Option for a full body stretch to bring yourself back into the body. You can stay on your back or you can roll onto one side. Coming into the fetal position. Taking your time. Just reestablishing that connection. Whenever you're ready, you can make your way up to a seated position. So if you have a block or a meditation cushion to sit on, I invite you to get yourself situated there so that you can elevate your hips and get yourself comfortable. So we're going to do a practice today called Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing. So this practice is probably one of the more well-known pranayamas in yoga, I would say. There are so many various pranayamic techniques in this lineage, but I really like this one in particular because it balances out the two hemispheres of the brain and the two energetic channels that run on either side of the spine. So the Ida on the left-hand side and the Pingala on the right-hand side. So again, it's one of those practices wherever you're at, if you are feeling lethargic or you're feeling anxious and overly energized, this one will bring you back to center. Now, the reason that I used to not prefer this practice very much was because I'm always stuffed up in one side, one nostril or the other, and that's very common. We switch sides, so we'll have a dominant side. So left side is the yin side, right side is the yang side. So we'll be in those two sides. I think it switches, I can't remember, every 6 hours or something like that. 4 hours, I can't remember the exact time. But you'll notice, usually at one time or another, you'll be open in one nostril and closed in the other. If you are dealing with a cold or you are just stuffed up in general, you can do this practice by just visualizing. So you don't have to close the nostrils. I do recommend if you can, because then it will bring the nostrils back to balance, even if it feels really difficult on one side. But if it just feels impossible, you can visualize. So you can sit here with your eyes closed and visualize the breath coming in the left nostril and coming out the right, and vice versa. Okay, so to do this practice, we're going to take our right hand and bring the peace fingers down. So the pointer finger and the middle finger down. Ring finger, pinky, and thumb will be up. Feels a little awkward at first until you kind of just bring your hand to your nose. So I'll guide you through it. And get your hands prepared and bring your right hand by your face. We'll take a breath in together and a breath out together. Okay. Close your right nostril with your thumb and inhale in the left nostril. Close both nostrils. Release the right nostril and exhale out the right, keeping the left closed. Inhale, right nostril. Close both nostrils. Exhale out the left nostril, keeping the right nostril closed. Inhale, left nostril. Close both. Exhale, right nostril. Inhale, right. Close both. Exhale, left. Inhale, left. Close both. Exhale, right. Inhale, right. Close both. Exhale, left. Continuing on your own pace. But do your best to keep the inhales and exhales as lengthened as possible. So really prolong the breath. Another option is to hold the retention at the top for maybe a 1 count or a 2 count. So for example, if you're inhaling in the left nostril and you hold both nostrils at the top, holding the breath just for a few counts, not too long. Just retaining the prana, retaining the energy within the body. Keep going. As you continue on, begin to draw your awareness to the space a few inches just above the top of the nasal passage. And so noticing the breath as it flows in each nostril, drawing up to the top of the nasal passage, holding your awareness there, and then releasing the breath out the opposite nostril. Noticing the energy of the breath, the coolness as it enters into each nostril. So you're breathing in the left, holding at the top, breathing out the right, breathing in the right, holding at the top, exhaling out the left. Just side to side. A few more rounds. Anchoring yourself in that space at the top of the nasal passage, moving into that third eye center space, right between the eyebrows. Next time you exhale out the left nostril, you can release your hand down onto your leg. Just noticing the effects of the breath. Bring your awareness back to that space between the center of the eyebrows. Imagine a channel or a tunnel going from the forehead, the space between the eyebrows, into the midbrain, a few inches into the brain, at the seat of the pineal and the pituitary glands, our center of intuition and connection with our higher selves. With each inhalation, imagining the awareness of the breath entering in through the forehead, in through that channel, into the space of the midbrain. And each exhale, the awareness of the breath flows back out through the center of the forehead. Inhaling, following the breath in, all the way into the midbrain. Exhaling the breath back out through the space between the eyebrows. Following the breath in and out like a wave, creating a channel of awareness, of perception. Allowing the pineal gland, the connection with our higher selves, to gain access to your external world. Allowing you to show up, make decisions from a higher place. Following the breath in and out. Maybe noticing any sensations that come up. Perhaps sensing color or light in this space. Releasing the awareness on the breath. And allowing your awareness to just rest in the body. Feeling deeply connected with your physical body. Mind is grounded. Thoughts just drift by. Start to bring your awareness back to your breath. Acknowledge your physical body, any sensations that you begin to tune into. Bring your hands to heart center and rub your palms together, creating some heat, some friction. And then place your palms over your eyes and your cheeks. Just giving yourself thanks of gratitude for your healing journey, whatever that looks like. Knowing that it's not all rainbows and unicorns, that there is a lot of darkness that comes up. Just knowing that you are always there for yourself. You're always supported. Release the hands. Take a moment to give yourself thanks of gratitude for showing up to your practice, showing up for yourself. I thank you for sharing your yoga practice with me. Namaste.